Today I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite Hunter x Hunter characters.
Number 10. Gon Freaks. To start off my list, I'm gonna start with the main character himself, Gon. Gon could be seen as a stereotypical protagonist in some ways, but he also flips that stereotype on its head. Gon can be naive at times, but he learns from his mistakes and realizes the true hardships of life. Gon does let his emotions overrun him, but this just adds to the realism of his character. I mean, Gon is a child, so why would he be able to control his emotions? Gon isn't like every other protagonist. He's very outspoken and trusting of others, and he also uses his head to figure his way out of tough scenarios. So I think Gon is just a great character overall just because he's not that stereotypical protagonist, and even in moments when he is, it's justified. Number 9. Bisky. Bisky may appear as a little girl, but she's a classic example of how you can't judge a book by its cover. To the average person, Bisky may look like Jeanette McCurdy, but on the inside, Bisky is Terry motherfucking Crews. Bisky was one who taught Kilauea and Gon the true mastery of Nen. She's the one who set the footsteps towards the current powerhouses that are the Kilauea and Gon we have today. Bisky could have destroyed Bomber in 1 second, but she wanted Gon and Kilauea to work together in order to defeat him. This showcases the rationality that Bisky has and what a good teacher she is to her students. Overall, Bisky is a great teacher and she knows how to stand on her own 2 feet. That's what makes her an awesome character. Number 8. Nobunaga. The Phantom trope has some pretty awesome characters, but I feel Nobunaga is the best of the bunch. Nobunaga is the one who had the most personality out of the whole Phantom trope because of the raw emotions he felt when he learned that Ugojin died. This also separated the Phantom trope from many other types of antagonist groups in anime because they are all actual people. The best comparison you can make is to the Arrancars. Unlike the Arrancars, a majority of the Phantom trope aren't just villains. Nobunaga didn't just kill Gon and Kilauea. He didn't let his emotions get the better of him, but he also wasn't emotionless to Ugojin's death. It affected him greatly because Ugojin was his friend. The Phantom trope may seem like brutal killers, but at the end of the day, they are people too. And this was first seen with Nobunaga and set the tone for the rest of the group. That's why I feel he's such a cool and important character to the series. Number 7. Melero. Melero kinda started off as a nobody. He was just another Chimera Ant, but then he evolved into one of the most important characters of the whole arc. He was the first Chimera Ant who was willing to go up against his own kind in order to do what he felt was right. And it's not like he's some powerhouse or something. He's actually pretty weak, so this just adds to his bravery. Melero was willing to put himself in the most dangerous situation possible, and he still remained more calm than Knuckle. He protected Knuckle, even in the situation where one single punch from Yuppie would have killed him. He respected Gon and Shoot immensely, and Gon, Knuckle, and the others would have died if it wasn't for Melero. I think the willingness that Melero has to go up against his own kind to do what's right showcases how brave Melero is and what an interesting character he is. Number 6. Hisoka. Hisoka is a fascinating character because you're always guessing left and right what this Joker is thinking. Hisoka always does everything for his own personal agenda, like joining the Phantom trope in order to fight its leader. Hisoka does everything for his own personal enjoyment, and this makes him so much fun to watch. I mean, he went along with playing dodgeball just because he knew it would be fun. Hisoka sees the potential in people like Gon, and instead of crushing that potential, he allows it to blossom into a strong opponent. This is really respectable and makes Hisoka a brilliant character and sets him above the rest because he's not just a simple antagonist, he's an actual person, not just a scary face. Hisoka's an interesting character, and I feel whenever you see him on screen, you always want to know more about him. And that's why I find him a fascinating character, and that's why I feel he deserves a spot on this list. Number 5. Marowan. A lot of people probably know this guy as the King. Marowan is an excellent character because of how much development he got in one arc. Marowan started off as someone with no mortality. Then he slowly gets an understanding of what morals are. Before, Marowan was just a tyrant, someone who just sought knowledge and power. But then he met Komugi. After meeting Komugi, he actually developed his first true bond with another living being, and started gaining a stronger sense of kinship in Komugi, meaning he desperately wanted to protect her. But even after Komugi almost died, he didn't lose his temper. He controlled his emotions. and that's something that made him so threatening as a villain. Marowan also learned how to gain respect for his opponents. He had a massive amount of respect for Itero. Marowan started off as a monster and died more human than even me. Number 4, Morel. Morel is one of the strongest and most clever hunters we have ever seen throughout the series. During the battle of the Chimera Ants, he used his intellect to outsmart his opponents and his strength to overpower them. Morel was willing to face these massive threats, unlike his partner Nob. He also raised Shoot and Knuckle to be very strong fighters themselves. That's why they were willing and able to put themselves in such a dangerous scenario. Morel knew the severity of the situation he was in. He knew that he could possibly die and was willing to sacrifice himself if necessary. This can be seen in the way he was willing to die in order to give Itero more time. He was willing to die for his master. Morel is a strong fighter based on his will, his wits, his pride, and these all make him such a lovable character. Number 3, Leorio. Leorio is probably one of the weakest characters in the show at first, but that didn't stop him from putting up a fight at every turn. Leorio always goes up against people he knows are way stronger than him with no hesitation in order to protect his friends. Like how he went up against Hisoka for Gon, and he was willing to put himself in the most dangerous situations for Kurapika's sake too. Leorio also uses his brain a lot of the time to solve situations Gon and Kurapika would just rush into. Leorio doesn't just stand around and take people's shit. One of the more epic moments in the series was when he used his Nen powers to put Jin in his place for the way he was treating his friend Gon. Leorio is weak, but unlike a majority of weak characters, he doesn't just sit around and do nothing, or even run away. He is a complete opposite of Usopp, where he will do anything and charge headfirst into situations that could lead to a certain doom. I love Leorio because even though he's weak and pretty useless at times, he always tries to make himself good in the situation at hand. Number 2, Kilauea. Kilauea has had to experience cruelty from his family all his life. Illumi tried to manipulate Kilauea in order to create an excellent fighter, and this made Kilauea have an extreme internal struggle. Kilauea had to fight through the mental barricade that was set upon him in order to help his friend Gon. Kilauea is always looking out for Gon. He never wants to see Gon hurt or darken as a person, but then he realizes that he can't always help Gon. Kilauea overcame extreme struggles and came out a better person. In fact, he became so much stronger as a person, he also managed to save Aluka. So not only did Kilauea better himself because of his struggles, but he also helped others with his newfound bravery. Kilauea is the pinnacle of overcoming struggles, and I feel he's the most realistic and tragic character in Hunter x Hunter. Number 1, Itero. Itero is a beast, and I don't think anyone can argue that he isn't. Itero is a man of extreme pride, but he is willing to put his pride aside when he needs to. Itero was willing to do whatever it took to take down Marowan, because he knew that it was for the greater good. Itero has learned from his countless years of experience, so he knows how to handle each situation and problem as they arise. He knows when an opponent he is facing is stronger, and when it is the right time to fight. Itero fights with extreme strength and analyzes his opponent constantly as he is fighting them. Itero has a kind heart and is always willing to see the better side in people, and never is too quick to judge. Itero has also made a huge sacrifice, not only with his life, but in a larger sense, his pride. He knew that he had to do whatever it took to take down the king, even if it meant implanting a bomb in his body. He knew the chances of him winning were slim, so Itero made a backup plan. For someone to be willing to acknowledge their defeat before they even begin to fight takes a lot of inner strength. Itero is strong when it comes to pure power and when it comes to his will. Itero has the best will of all the Hunter x Hunter characters, and that's what makes him such an amazing character, and in my personal opinion, the best.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe.